Hi, I'm astrologer and life coach Penny Dix. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome back if you're a regular visitor here. And if this is your first visit, a big welcome to you. I'd love it if you'd subscribe. So today, the 25th of March, I'm bringing you yet another of my short heads up videos. And the subject for today is really rather important and actually has been long awaited, because today Mars, our planet of action, energy, assertion, sexuality, finally leaves Gemini, where he has been since the end of last August, and moves into the sign of Cancer. Now, is this a good thing or is it a bad thing? Well, it's a different thing. It's a different energy. So we will notice the shift from Mars being quite hot and combustible in the sign of Gemini and making our thoughts go all over the place and getting all kind of seething under the collar about injustices and anything that's not right with the world or with our own lives. Now, Mars in Cancer is a little bit different because Mars is what we call debilitated in the sign of Cancer. What this means is that Mars is still not very comfortable, especially in a water sign, because it kind of dampens his energy. It puts out the fire. It drowns the passion and the energy. So Mars in Cancer, it only lasts actually till about the third week of May. So then Mars will actually move into Leo. So we've just got this energy for about 6 weeks, 6, 7 weeks. I can't count. I'm terrible. But it's something like that, close to. Anyway, Mars in Cancer, let's just analyze this a bit, because Cancer is about nurturing. It's about feeling. It's about the home, and it's about the family. What might we experience with Mars in this part of the chart? Well, in some ways we might see things erupting within our home life, people getting a little bit irritated or frustrated with each other. That could be one manifestation of this energy. But let's look at the event chart for when Mars actually moves into Cancer, because this will give us a much broader view, because it sets the tone for Mars's entry into Cancer. So what that does is it gives us a kind of a glimpse and some foresight into how the next few weeks will develop with Mars in this sign. So the first thing that leaps out at me from the event chart is that Mars is in or on the ascendant of this chart. Now that's really interesting, because it's like Mars is half in, half out, half in air, half in water, because the ascendant of this chart, and I base the timing for all my charts on universal time, which is based in Greenwich Mean Time, London. And Mars is actually in the 12th house of this chart, but conjunct the ascendant, because the ascendant of this chart is 29 degrees, the anaretic degree of Gemini. So it's like Mars is kind of just holding back in the wings and thinking, am I going to have a soft landing when I move into Cancer? Or am I going to sink a bit and drown in the feelings and emotions that Cancer can evoke? And of course, the first house is about our identity. So let's look at it as the collective identity of the planet at the moment. And we know that collectively, the planet and all of us on the planet have been going through enormous challenges over the last few months, a few weeks, and we could even say the last few years. So Mars in this position is kind of saying you must pay attention to your physicality. Don't allow yourself to drown in feeling, to get caught in the kind of the overthinking that can happen with that Gemini energy. Pay attention to your body. Pay attention to the physical you. Sometimes, we neglect and we allow our kind of psyche and soul and physical to split in two. But I do feel this energy is saying it has to be a holistic approach to our body and the way we live our life. Mars in this chart is actually making a helpful aspect, which is a trine aspect, to Saturn in Pisces, newly arrived in this sign. So it's in the part of the chart that is to do with matters at a distance. I think what it's saying is, let's just slow down. Mars wants to rush ahead through Cancer. And okay, Mars gets his way to a certain extent because by the third week of May, he will have moved back into a fire sign and be in Leo. But Saturn is saying, slow down. Don't run before you can walk. Take time to actually, heat in water can make it quite nice and comforting and warm. And Cancer is a water sign. So allow that Martian energy to just heat the water gently, to warm your emotions gently. There's always a positive way that we can interpret this energy. Allow it to calm your passionate instincts, because we can get quite irritated, frustrated, and angry with Mars in a water sign and start lashing out. We might see this in the various shenanigans that are going on in various countries in the world. We may certainly see some acting out of frustration and anger. Let me just have a look at what else is happening in this chart, because it might just give us a clue as to what more we can expect over the next, as I say, 6 weeks. Pluto, wow. Pluto, our planet of transformation, sitting at that 0 degree of Aquarius, making a helpful sextile to the Sun in Aries, brings in the energy of the kind of business world, what is going on in big business, what has collapsed under the stress and strains of the last few years. Pluto is clearing the decks. Pluto needs us to change. Pluto needs us to change our whole approach to the way we run our organizations, to the way we run business. And with this Martian energy in Cancer, I think there's going to be a lot of energy with people who have been in positions or are in positions of authority, drowning a bit in their, it's like when we say, methinks he protests too much, defending themselves, standing up for what they believe is right. And Pluto's saying, things have to change. Now, Neptune is actually on the midheaven of this chart. Neptune in Pisces, remember, is about water, the ocean, the sea. And it's also about what's hidden. deception, illusion. But it can also be that sixth sense that we have. That sense that we do know what is coming. Now, Neptune, interestingly, is making a out of sign square to Mars. So there's a little bit of kind of, it, to me, this looks like Mars is going to be continuing the search for truth in Cancer and drowning a bit in the kind of muddy waters. Neptune, remember, a water sign. It's like, it just, the hidden depths are just too much for the power of Mars. Neptune is also sextiling, to say again, it's a semi-sextile, a semi-sextile to Uranus, my big outer boy of shocks, the unexpected, can be unpredictable behavior. It's also about freedom of speech. And it's a semi-sextile to Neptune. I think information comes to light over the next few weeks, which is unexpected, but I think what it does is it shows us a truth. It's a truth about banking. It's a truth about the financial markets, about the economy in general. It's about how we tidy things up, how we find the transparency and truth in these organizations that Pluto is working so hard to deconstruct. So I do feel that that is part of what this energy is about. And with Jupiter still conjunct Chiron, pulling away now, but Jupiter and Chiron in Aries. Aries, Chiron, our wounded healer. Jupiter, our planet of luck, opportunity, and expansion. If we do the right thing, if we manage to find that kind of path to truth and honesty and get the transparency about what goes on in these big businesses, then the healing can begin. The healing of all of us. The healing of the kind of, the way business is run, to find a better way. So, in a sense, Mars moving into Cancer just kind of shifts the whole focus of the energy of the current astrological patterns. And ultimately, I think when it moves into Leo at the end of May, I think things will come more into the open. Because remember, the sun rules Leo. So the moon rules Cancer. So it tends to keep things a little bit hidden. So we may go through a couple of months where it's just still not quite clear as to which way, the economy is going to go. The difficulties in Europe with Ukraine, the difficulties knowing how that's going to go, and all other areas of the world with their particular political difficulties. On a personal level, as I bring this heads up to a conclusion, just try to contain your passion. If you're passionate about something, think it through. Just slip in your mind into Gemini and think things through before you react, because Mars in Cancer can make us react with our feelings and maybe say things and attack verbally or in any other way, which does not necessarily serve the situation well. So as always, the astrology pulls us back to ourselves, to our inner world, to the way we look at how we know ourselves and handle ourselves. So that once we have that relationship, that healthy relationship with ourselves, we can then have that healthy relationship with the outside world and those that we're close to. So quite a serious kind of heads up today, but thank you so much for joining me and staying the course if you're still here at this point of the video. Thank you for joining me. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, share, all those lovely things that so many of you do. Thank you for all your well wishes for my rather painful back, which I'm afraid still is, but it's just going to take time. I've got Pluto conjunct my natal Chiron. So have a lot of other people born in 55. So, you know, you may all be going through some rather challenging times at the moment. But on that note, enough about me. Let's talk about you. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.